Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633, and now we're at the final lion to form the basis of Voltron, and that is the black lion with Shiro. Now this is actually a lot bigger than the other lions, and because of that it is in a much more expensive price point. While the standard limbs are supposed to retail for around $16 to $17, this one is actually set for around $25 to $30, and that's because not only is it larger, but it also includes a full-on voice box in it. So that's pretty cool that it actually has sounds built onto the line itself. We're now going to take a look at the box. The box is actually in the bigger open style box, but not on with a card, so that's pretty cool. It has 50 plus phrases, so that's pretty impressive, especially for a Playmates toy. And it obviously is the main body. Has a picture of the black line there. The same photo we've seen with the combinations there, and shows pretty much the standard stuff we've seen with the standard limbs, but obviously it does have a few samples of phrases and shows that it does include Shiro. So that's pretty cool. Now we're going to take a look at the lion more specifically. This time around, when you open up the actual abdomen here, this is where the pilot figure actually goes into. And what's actually kind of cool is that this is also where the speaker is. So they actually put it in a pretty interesting area, and you can place Shiro inside like that. Anyways, that's pretty much it for contents, since it doesn't even come with any other main accessories, and it's mainly towards the electronic gimmicks that it has. It has 2 points of electronic gimmicks, and that is obviously the sounds, as I mentioned earlier, and it also has lights, which will be seen at the body here. We're just going to quickly sample through some of the phrases. So, what's also nice is that Playmates has actually designed a on and off switch, which I highly appreciate that the company actually included. So, there we go. It doesn't have any other confirmation sounds, however, when you press the button.
Voltron is the only thing that can stop Zarkon.
Just to show the lights in this mode. It's not going to change anything when you change it to the modes, but it will have new sounds. But anyways.
Let's assemble Voltron and get rid of these Golra. Form Voltron! We need to increase firepower. Systems compromised. Now, we will destroy you. Now we go on the offensive. Let's light this thing up. Fire lasers! We will save the universe! Let's light this thing up. Fire lasers! Now we go on the offensive.
So it has about 15 to 20 phrases on its own, but when you combine it with the other limbs, it will actually have a ton more phrases. We're going to quickly turn this off, since it's going to go through the sound, since this button is actually quite sensitive and easy to press as we go towards the articulation. The tail, unfortunately, is not in the same way that the standard lions are, since it is on a single joint, and it pretty much goes like that when transferring it into its limb mode. It has the same good ratchets in the back leg there. It has the same joints in the back here for both this part and that part. However, this part is a little bit different since it does kind of break up the design when moving the leg there. So that's not a very good looking joint, but I could see what they were trying to get there. It has no waist articulation, but it does have the standard swivels, but only in this direction. You cannot actually turn it the other way, which is kind of weird. And it does have a ratchet up here, a ratchet down here, and a ratchet on the foot there. And this piece is kind of articulated, but that's just really a piece that turns for transformation. It does have a single neck joint. However, unfortunately, it has no other points of articulation, which does hinder it quite a bit, especially in Voltron mode. But it makes sense since it does have the light and sound box built in. I don't think Playmates was able to design a way where the neck could be articulated as well. This line does not have a spring-loaded mouth. However, since the middle part here actually houses the actual face of Voltron itself, what's cool is that you can actually kind of dig inside, and from there you can actually push the head up. It's a little bit tricky though, but once you get that, it should slide in above. And now you got him opened with the face concealed. So that's pretty cool what you got there. So other points of articulation I forgot to mention are the wings. It does have ratchets there, and you can bend it forward and outward. And you can bend them all the way up because that's basically how the standard position for the wings will be in Voltron mode. But other than that, that's pretty much what covers the Black Lion. And for a $30 price point or so on its own, I think it's pretty cool. And since it is pretty big, I think it's worth the price of the $30 actually it's going for. So I think Playmates did a pretty good job with the overall designs of the lines on their own. However, we will now be looking at the full combination next, tomorrow. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hero Club and Hirotaku. Also check out Twitter under Darkon633, and don't forget to check down the other channels down below. Please check the bell at the bottom of the screen so you can see the content go up as soon as possible. And I actually got this line thanks to my friend Sound12, since he was able to find it at his Toys R Us, since at the time, the Black Lion was the hardest to find since they were not really easily listed anywhere at the time when I was trying to get this. So, once again, I do have another shout out to Sound12 for helping me get a hold of this line. Anyways, we'll now be moving on to the final day of Legendary Voltron Week, and that is the full combined Voltron.